Hey, Pascal here again, and this week the first images and leaks of the GoPro Hero 8 came out and it looks quite interesting, but I have a bit mixed feelings about it because it's probably not as good as it sounds. So in this video I want to share my thoughts about it, and I also want to answer the question if you should wait for the GoPro Hero 8 or if you should directly get a GoPro if you're about to buy a GoPro right now. So GoPro got some serious competition recently, mainly from DJI, because they came out with the Osmo Action, which is actually in some parts a bit better than the GoPro Hero 7 and in other parts not. For example, the quality, and you have some lag between the footage that you can see on the display and the actual reality, so what it records right now. So this is not quite nice. It's also a reason why I did not get the Osmo Action. But GoPro definitely has to keep up a bit with the competition right now. So with the GoPro Hero 8, they have to add some features, and that's especially important because more and more people don't use GoPros only for like sports or action shots, but they also use it for travel and to get some more cinematic footage, to vlog and so on. So it's actually more of a camera that you have always with you and you get a lot of shots with it, and GoPro has to stick up with it. And because of that, the leaks that came out this week about the GoPro Hero 8 are actually quite interesting, because it looks like GoPro want to get a bit more in this direction. They want to also address some more vloggers and so on, but in my opinion they didn't do it right. So I would say let's first look at the leaks and the images that came out. So the first thing that you can really see is that they add this new housing that you can attach to the GoPro, and with that housing it's quite cool. You can attach a monitor, you can attach light, and you can also probably attach an external microphone. Like, they didn't really mention it, but it has two hot shoe mounts, one at the side, at the left side, and one on the top. And that's great because then the microphone is not in front of the screen. So they used their brain a little bit while they did it, not like Sony, to be honest. Like the Sony, which one is it, a6400, there you have this problem when you mount a microphone, it's in front of the screen. There are some like mounts for it so that you can move the microphone to the side, but yeah, that's not a good concept in that case. So GoPro did it better here. And then the other changes are that you should get 4K 120, and it should also get a new lens, what could lead to better image quality. And it's usually the case that the lens is a bit more important than the camera actually, but I'm not sure because on the GoPro everything is in focus always. And so I'm not sure if the lens can do so much. Maybe a little bit more sharpness or so on. So that sounds pretty good right now, right? But as mentioned in the beginning, I have a bit mixed feelings about it, even if it sounds good. And my first problem is here for vloggers. So GoPro simply want to address vloggers. You can clearly see that by attaching the front-facing screen on the camera. But I don't really like how they implemented it. I would actually say that DJI did that better, simply because with the DJI Osmo Action you have the front-facing screen integrated into the camera. And that's important because when you want to vlog, you don't want to waste much time setting everything up, right? You just want to take out your camera and you want to vlog. And with the Osmo Action you can actually do that even if you have this lag in the image, simply because you can see yourself and the screen is right on the camera. But on the GoPro Hero 8 in that case you would have to attach the screen, and you would also have to attach the microphone, then you would have to plug the microphone in and so on. So it's not really convenient, I would say. And so I would like it more if GoPro would also go in the direction of having a front-facing screen directly integrated into the camera like DJI did with the Osmo Action. And also then they should, instead of making this case, they should just come out with a microphone that's perfectly made for the GoPro Hero 8. I mean, they could actually use a case like they have now for the microphone. I was actually hoping that this round thing at the edge of the case is a microphone, but it doesn't really look like that. So it's actually a lot of setup time that you have to. So in my opinion it's not a perfect vlogging setup. But it's not the only thing that I don't really like about the GoPro Hero 8, at least about the leaks about the GoPro Hero 8, and that is about 4K 120 FPS. I mean, at first I like that they implement that right now, but I think that for people like me that do a bit more color grading and so on, that need a bit more bit rate, it's not that good. Or let's not say not that good, not that usable. Like, it's good that they implement it, but it's not really usable for people like me. And the reason for that is simply that with a higher frame rate, you simply have less bit rate per frame. And bit rate means quality at the end. And when I do my color grading, I want to have as much bit rate available as possible. So the GoPro Hero 7 and the GoPros before, as far as I remember, shoot with a maximum bitrate of 78 Mbits. And if you shoot in 4K 24, that gives you a bitrate of 3.5 Mbits per frame, which is okay for a compressed format, but even that is already low if you compare it to ProRes or other formats. And then with 4K 60, you have, what was it? I think 1.3 or so, yeah, 1.3 Mbits per frame. And this is already a bit lower, but it's still possible to get some good grades with it, especially if you use plugins like Neat Video to resolve some errors. But then when you shoot in 4K 120 FPS, that means that you only have 0.65 Mbits per frame. And in my opinion, that's not enough anymore. You would need a bit more bitrate to really do some color grading and so on. You just need more quality there. So I think if they should implement 4K 120, it would be nice if they could also raise the bitrate of the camera. Maybe at least to 100 Mbits. I mean, that's also pretty low. Better would be like 150 Mbits or so on. But I don't really think that happens, simply because the write speeds to the SD cards are probably not fast enough than on the small ones. And also maybe you get overheating issues and so on. So I don't think they implement that, but still I would say that it's not a real issue, because you still have 4K 60, so you can get around the same quality, maybe even better to the new processor with the GoPro Hero 8 that you already got on the GoPro Hero 7. So it's not really a loss, it's actually a win, because they implement the 4K 120 in that case. But yeah, for people like me, it's probably just not that usable. But overall, I must say that it looks very interesting what GoPro does there, because, well, it's a lot of new features that are possible with that setup by having this new case and so on. So I'm still excited for this camera, and it should come out in 1 or 2 months, I think. So I will definitely get it and do some reviews here and also tutorial. And yeah, I would actually say that you should wait until the GoPro Hero 8 comes out when you want to buy a GoPro and an action cam in general right now. Simply because if the GoPro 8 is actually much better than the GoPro Hero 7, and it's probably good for you for what you want to use it, then of course you can buy the GoPro Hero 8. But even if it shouldn't be as good as it sounds, then you can still get the GoPro Hero 7 at a cheaper price. So if you're about to get an action camera right now, then I would definitely wait until the Hero 8 comes out. It can't get worse, it only can get better. And that's it already. I hope you liked this video, and especially if you look for a new action camera, I could help you a little bit if you should buy it now or later. And yeah, actually chose a bit easier, faster topic for today's video, because I moved into my new apartment this week. This is actually what you see here right now. Like, you will see this background a bit more often, because yeah, if you're new to this channel, I was traveling for 4 years. Like 2 years of this 4 years, I did not really have a home or a base where I had my stuff. I was just living out of a backpack, and yeah, it was a cool time, but after a while you also get a bit tired of it. So I settled down in Thailand, in Chiang Mai right now. So it's a nice place here. I really love this city, and also the apartment is quite nice. Of course, I will not stop traveling completely right now. I will just reduce the traveling a little bit more on this channel. I will focus more on tutorials. But of course, like, I think maybe I will still do 2 to 4 countries per year. Depends a little bit on also like what contracts I get with companies and what countries I want to travel to by myself. So next year I already have some countries in mind. It could actually be more than 4. I think that will be a lot of traveling. Yeah, so just a little update also here for this channel. And yeah, if you haven't done yet, then definitely hit the subscribe and notifications button right now for upcoming tutorials, and of course also a review about the GoPro Hero 8 when it comes out. So see you next Sunday, and have a nice week.